I'm Sayakat Cosplay and welcome back to my channel. On my Evelyn Part 2 making of video, someone recently commented asking if I could go more in depth on how I did my internal wig revisions to my Evelyn wig because they, like me, suffer from a tiny head. And I thought that was a really good idea. So in today's video, I'm going to go more in depth on what exactly I did to Evelyn's wig to make it fit my head better, and give you some tips and tricks on how to deal with wigs for us tiny-headed folks. There's nothing worse than going to a convention and sitting around in a wig all day that doesn't fit right. For us tiny-headed folks, the wig often will push on our ears and make it super uncomfortable and get really tired and cranky if a wig doesn't fit right. So doing a little bit of internal work on a wig can make it so much more comfortable and make your custom wearing experience that much more enjoyable. For a lot of my wigs, I use Arta wigs. They are really great quality, they're not too expensive, they're heat-resistant synthetic wigs, and all around, I'm usually going to use Arta wigs. The one thing about these wigs, though, is they are built with a fairly large wig cap most of the time. And so for me, that means that these wigs are often a little bit too big for my head and often will push on my ears. So this is not, obviously, my Evelyn wig. This is an unmodified wig that is going to be used for a different costume project. As you can see here, it has a sideburns region, and the edge of the wig and the elastic that goes down into the bottom to make the wig more snug also sits right at the sideburns area. So this would sit right above my ear. And on a wig like this, where it has a sideburn, so your ear is going to fit right about, your ear is going to fit right about here. On someone with a smaller head, this can, push down on the ear and be really uncomfortable. So this is unmodified. I haven't done anything to this wig. I haven't done anything to the interior. And if I didn't do anything to this, it would be comfortable for a little while, and then it might get uncomfortable after a while if this is sitting on top of my ear and pushing down on my ear. So I'm going to show you what I did to my Evelyn wig to make this more comfortable. This is my Evelyn wig. What I did on the inside of this wig. Now this is an Arta Venus Silky in Iris. So this is another Arta wigs. And on the inside, I've made some changes. I have some footage which I'm going to splice in here of me actually doing this work. Voiceover Sayakat here with some of the actual work that I did on this wig. Please note that this modification will only work with a wig that is wefted all the way to the front. If you're going to try to do this to something like a lace front wig, the work is going to be different. So if you're trying to modify a lace front, that is different than a fully wefted wig that's wefted all the way to the front. That would be a different video. Also, for doing these modifications, I'm using a seam ripper and a wefting needle and just regular thread doubled over. Those are the only tools that I really needed to be able to do this work. So you can see here that there's been some changes on the inside. Some things have moved. So the edge of the wig and the elastic, which you can use to make the wig tighter, has been moved. I moved it from this point here up and over so that this will sit in front of my ear and this now sits behind my ear. The one thing when you do this is that makes this piece loose. So when I wear the wig, I have to use either spirit gum or eyelash glue to glue this to my face. And that keeps this nice and flush to the face and keeps it in place. So that is one caveat of doing this type of alteration to the wig. This becomes loose, and since the hair is pulled back and not going down, I need to glue it to my face to make it stay. Of course, we have our regularly scheduled cat interruption. So what exactly did I have to do to make this modification? Well, I had to cut 3 wefts here. So there's 3 wefts here that went across that I cut and then sewed back over to this side. I sewed up this part of the sideburn so that it was flush and not doing anything weird. And I sewed this up to this weft here. Actually, the first thing I had to do was take this off. I had to remove this piece from over here, and I did that with a seam ripper. So you take this piece off with a seam ripper, so both the edge of the wig and the elastic, you can remove that with a seam ripper. It's just sewn on. I'll show you on this wig here. It's just sewn on under here. It's kind of hard to see, but you can very easily undo this stitching, and you can just undo that stitching and move that piece around. So the whole wig is basically sewn together. So you can undo stitching and redo stitching as you need. So you can see here, these are the wefts that were cut and sewn back over to this piece of elastic here. And that just keeps the wefts out of the way. It keeps everything nice and clean. It keeps things from fraying. The one thing to keep in mind when you're doing this type of movement of the sides of the wig is it can make the wefts bunch up a little bit and make them lay a little weird. So make sure to try everything on and make sure everything is where you want it and doesn't look funky. I actually had moved this into a different place, tried everything on, and didn't like how the wig fit. It didn't fit really well. It was not snug at all on my head. Everything was drifting back. So this was originally placed somewhere else. I don't really remember where, but the edge of the wig I sewed it on one point, moved it, tried everything on, didn't like it, and then moved it again. So that's what I did to the interior of this wig. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any additional comments or questions, don't forget to leave a comment down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and bell notification for the next time I put up a new video. Alright folks, I will see you guys later.